Welcome to Interface. Today we have with us Dr. Hazem Kalaji from Warsaw University of Life Sciences, Poland. He is a renowned plant biologist, a man of photosynthesis, and he has worked immensely in the area of photosynthesis. Dr. Hazem, can you say what is the significance of photosynthesis today and the research based on photosynthesis?
Yeah, we consider this process as the most important, not only physiological process, but biological one, which is very important for our existence on Earth, because it's tight relation between the plants and the human being because of the oxygen and the carbon dioxide, which is enclosed in this cycle.
So the research in photosynthesis is getting more and more relevant and important nowadays.
Yeah, it used to be one of the most significant fields, and it still continues to be that. And even our, let's say, recent research, they are indicating that this process will stay on the top among the other type of plant sciences and researches. Yes, absolutely.
So it has more significance towards the artificial photosynthesis, which are the hype of today. People are working more on this area. Can you just comment on that?
Well, this is, let's say, a part of our future research, but we continuously working on discovering the plant worlds by following this process, because up to date we don't know so much about how plants do photosynthesis and about their requirements to do this process.
So you feel that more information has to come up in this particular area?
Absolutely, yes, because nowadays we are trying to apply different techniques and put them in one box to get more signals and to get better understand of the plant behaviors based on the physiological apparatus or machinery response.
What is your main area of interest in research?
Well, it's a general and specific at the same time. So generally anything which is doing photosynthesis. Then specific, we go nowadays behind using some parameters coming and related from this process to build up machines which allow us to have the to listen to the plants and have what we call it to hear what the plants talk.
That is the area of plant talk, you say?
Yes, this is the future, the plant talk, because this is the only process, as we said, that it's very indicative and it's sensitive for the physiological status of the plants. And nowadays we can measure it using a different type of instruments, portable, non-invasive, non-destructive ways, and in very short time we can get very fast signals, 100 of parameters measured and calculated. Then based on that we can develop, let's say, a machine, let's say involve the machine learning and get signals about the plant's requirements specifically.
I know that plant talk is an area of interest for you as well as for the whole world, and it is an upcoming branch too.
Yeah.
And what I understand is that through various sophisticated instrumentation, you try to get the signal out from the plants, and accordingly you can respond to the action of the plant or the plant needs. Is it okay?
That's true. That's true. Well, it's we start to think about the plants in different ways, like all the people have been doing up to date. Let's say a few years ago we treated the plants as, you know, something which is green and pretty, and we have to have them in the surrounder. Then the scientists, they are dealing with them, you know, in the specific fields just to do something or explore some mechanisms or some strategies. But now we went one step ahead. First of all, to get these signals directly from the plants so we can monitor their physiological status. Like if you go to the doctor and they connected you to different type of sensors and they can see what's going on inside your body to get information about your physiological status. As well, we are doing that, and we did it. But now we are starting to build up a biological biofeedback systems, which we can gather all this information from the plants, and then we wish to allow the plants to control their environments, having this information from them at the first stage. Then on the second stage, and this is what we are doing, not so many people on the world doing that, only my team, my lab, and one lab in the United States, we are trying to allow the plants to control their environment, especially when they are growing in the semi-controlled environments like the greenhouses. That means specifically we aim to go with the plants that they will control the light spectrum and the light intensity, the carbon dioxide which they need, and the humidity and the temperature within the greenhouses or the growth chambers. Because up to date our knowledge is, I would say, limited. We assume that they need this and that level of these environments, and we are looking for something which is optimum for us, but not optimum for the plants by themselves. We are looking for the production and having bigger fruits, higher yields. The plants, they are coded by the nature, by God, to do something else. They would like to have optimum, growth. And if you allow them to control these environments, then they can have, the best productions. We are talking about the quality here, not about the quantity, because there is a conflict of interest between the human being and the plants. The plants, they are looking for the quality by themselves and continuity. Yeah, we are looking as a people, as producers, as a scientists, thinking all the time that we have to feed these populations increased every day. Just we are looking for this quantity and increasing the plant productions.
So in the near future, you say that the farmers would not be going into the fields, but instead they sit at home and control the features in the plants based on the response of the plants, what is happening in the field.
Yes, partially we are doing that now. Partially we are doing that by realizing the first step, as I said, by monitoring the plants in their environments that I'm controlling, or I'm monitoring at least my plants now, which are growing in Poland, in Warsaw, in my lab, from my iPhone or my mobile phone sitting with you here in India. I can get the signals directly from those plants, and this is the first step. Then the next step, I will allow them to control themselves.
Can you just elaborate a little bit on that, how it is being achieved for the student population?
Okay, that's matter of calibrations. So we take this huge amount of measured parameters. Then we put all these data, a million of data, unlimited number of these data, in the black box, which is officially we call it the artificial neural networks. Then they have a better memory, a better level of elaboration of the data than the brain of the people, because we are not using the whole brain, only 2 or maximum 3%, as we know. So these data, these let's say artificial neural networks, they can identify which changes of which parameters can be an indicator to a specific stressors or changes in the environments. Then they can give you information on that. Once we will get these signals from the plants, then when we go back by biofeedback system, then we see if the plants will see, for example, that it's too high light, they will give the signals to the system. And the system by itself will allow to control the light. Then in a simple words, the plants will turn on and off the plants by itself, per the optimum as they like, or per the optimum for the end user, which is the producer. So we can do that. We calibrate the machine either on looking for the optimum quality, which is fitting to the plants themselves, or by the optimum or maximum production for the end users, then we are behind the quantity.
I know you are a man of chlorophyll fluorescence also, and you have done enormous work in that area.
Right.
So how far these chlorophyll A fluorescence studies are helping in the photosynthesis analyzation in different parts of research?
Yes, so these type of signals which we are getting from the plants in 1 second, for example, the new instrumentations, they allow us to get more than 120 or 30 points in 1 second on a curve which we call it chlorophyll fluorescence induction curve. Then we can calculate more than 70 parameters. There is no other techniques on Earth or even now on Mars which allow you to have such a huge number of information in 1 second in one touch. It's only one touch on the leaf, and we get the signals. We don't destruct, we don't cut the leaves, we don't do anything. Then we do that to understand the mechanisms of the photosynthetic machinery or photosynthetic apparatus, how it works under different environments and environmental conditions. That was the first step. Then we tried to apply practical applications for this use, and we were successful to apply in from the small, let's say, scale to the upper scale, like NASA. NASA is applying this type of measurements now to monitor and the whole globe, and to see the, let's say, monitor the productivity of the plants and the oceans, because we are talking about algae as well. So if there is some bloom will come, we can detect it. Well, the most advanced, okay, let's go back to what we talked at the beginning. So in the plants, like in the people, there is different physiological processes, but we found that photosynthesis is the most important one and sensitive one. Then inside this process, we found that the reaction from photosystem 2, it's protein, enzymes, a complex of proteins. It's the most fragile, the most sensitive one, and any changes in the environments within a milliseconds, you can get the response. So now we based on getting signals from these specific components to predict and not only monitor, but to predict the changes. Because not maybe most of the people knows, once you see these visualizations in the field, it's too late to do anything with them. So we are looking for methods where you can predict, you can, do something before the catastrophe will come, before the infection or the effect of heavy metals or droughts will come up to be seen by naked eyes.
Before any visual symptom
absolutely,
is coming up, yeah.
Absolutely. Once you see by your naked eyes the changes, the farmers know that, the students know that, the scientists. It's too late to do anything with those plants. And if you have, let's say, like in Europe, we have greenhouses with 20, 30 hectares, one producers. Then imagine if something will happen there. They will lose, millions of investments in 1 or 2 days. So this type of technology allow you to monitor and predict the changes. Then you can, and especially in special, we monitor the whole plants nowadays. So you can see where the problem started, you can restrict it, and you can manage not to spread it in the whole greenhouses. The same in the field as well.
So whether it is any biotic level infection or abiotic level damage, it can be detected at a very early stage.
Absolutely. And this is one of the advantages of this method, that you can detect earlier the changes, especially if we are talking in the fields. Now I'm doing some experiments with the farmers. If we don't need the nutrient requirements of the plants yet. All the world is applying this golden formula, what they call it, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, NPK. And they are applying, for example, on a hectare, depending on the genotype or on the plants cultivated, 60, 80 kilograms per hectare, or 100 and 120. But we don't know. We always usually applying that with additional amount just to be on the safe side. But we are destroying the ecosystems as well.
Yeah.
Once you will have the signals from the plant saying about their specific requirements, okay, then you are sure that there is no nutrient deficiencies anymore.
Yeah.
Then you are sure on the other side that you are applying the optimum dosage,
Yeah.
not an additional things which are spoiling the ecosystems.
Okay. So I think what I understand is that this techniques can be utilized from an individual plant to a global level vegetation, as you explained as in the case
Absolutely.
of
You
NASA.
can go, yes, you can go from the level of one cell, tissues, organ, plants, canopy, and as NASA is doing from the satellites monitoring permanently nowadays the whole globe response of the plants around the world.
Then of course this technology is going to get more relevance in the future, and I think that is an area of upcoming research also, if that is the case.
Yes, and we have still a lot of fields to be applied by the use of this technology, which we call it chlorophyll fluorescence, because we apply it, for example, to predict the proper time for fruits collections. You don't have to make any chemical analysis anymore. You just make measurements on the skin of the fruits. You get the signals, and you can say that this is a proper moment you can do it. Or the starting of the process of stabilization of the potato in the soil. Farmers used to go to the field every day, pick up a plant or 10 plants from everywhere to see if it started or not. Now we have signals just from the above ground parts of the plants doing non-invasive measurements on the leaf. We can know what is the size even of the potato inside the soil. So it's a huge number of applications. Fruits quality, seeds quality, the coming blooms, and in the oceans, in the seas, in the rivers, in the lakes, many applications. Absolutely.
I could understand from you that in your country you are even utilizing it for to see the storage condition of apples, because you are a good producer of apples.
Yes.
So
yes.
how this technology is being utilized in that case?
Yes, Poland is one of the main exporters of different plants like strawberry, potato, and apple as well. So the problem with this that you put these fruits after the harvest in the magazines, big magazines. So you have 100 of tons, and you reduce the amount of oxygen, not allowing fermentation process to start. But you never knows if something will be wrong with your fruits during this period storage. Yes. Then they used to come in this way that they have to open the big chambers or big magazines. Then a lot of again fresh air will come in, and they go manually to check these fruits. But nowadays we have sensors, chlorophyll fluorescence sensors mounted everywhere in the big magazines on the apples. We are getting signal outside. More than that, this measuring systems is connected to the piping and cylinders which are providing these gases inside. So it's automatically regulated to have the optimum conditions during the post-harvest period.
The moment it reduces, automatically releases.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's an amazing technology.
Yeah, it is one of these applications as well.
So just from measurements of photosynthesis, it has spread out into many other areas which you have already stated.
Yes, there is really unlimited number of these applications. Yes.
So here in India, we utilize more chlorophyll fluorescence for stress studies on plants. And I think that is one of the best tool to analyze the stress conditions of plants, and we utilize it for many different kinds of stresses. And what do you say about this particular aspect?
Yes, absolutely. This method is a good method because it's allow you to measure, as we said, in non-invasive way, and then it's trustable. What that means? This is a method which is independent of the user. And the many techniques which we have in our hands, you can get artifacts, you can get numbers. You know, the instruments are stupid. They don't know what they are measuring. So the end user should know how to measure properly, and if he is getting proper data and real data. So in this type of instrumentations, the end user or the user who is applying and doing these measurements has no effect on this type of measurements. A small child can take a fluorimeter, this is the name of this type of instrumentations, and he can go to the field and he can do the measurements, collect it, and then give it to the experienced scientists. So this is a trustable, cheap, and as we said, is a fast tool. So you can do, as we said, let's say in 1 hour, about 200, 300 measurements. And it's trustable, so it's giving you the same informations. It doesn't matter of the user or the one who is using that. Absolutely.
I feel that this instrumentation are really good because they are portable. You can take to the field and use it. No chemical expenditure on
chemicals.
this, so you can use it any time. You can use it.
Yes.
And another advantage is that they are very cute instrument. Whatever we have, they are very cute instruments also.
Right.
So, but analysis part of the data is again a big problem. You have to really be thorough with what each signal means. Only you get signals.
That's true. It depends on now the aim of our research. If you are looking just to see if there is something wrong, so you can get it in a few seconds directly on the screen. No need for data interpretations or analysis. But the scientists, they are interested to get more information, so they are getting those more points and bands and faces which appear on this induction curve, and they start to analyze it and correlate it with the specific changes in the specific step of the work of this photosynthetic machinery. But for let's say the fast monitoring, you don't need it. You just take a measurements and you can see the results directly. If you compare it actually to just to get better understanding on this method, it's very similar to our works came to be like the internist in the medicine. So the medical doctor, if whatever your pain is, it's a liver, kidney, your hands, whatever your eyes, they will start with something. They will start with the heartbeats of the people. Why that? Because the medicine already proved that it doesn't matter of the nationality, the color, you will have the same heartbeat, you know, almost 60 to 80 pulses per minute. Now what we found from this photosystem 2, which is the heart of the photosynthetic machinery, that we are getting a very similar parameters, which is a VFM. And it doesn't matter again now of the plants genotype, is it maize or dates or grasses or anything else, or even the skin of the apple or the banana where you have chlorophyll as well. It will give you the same signals if your plants are in optimum conditions. It will give you 0.83 to 0.85. Whenever any change is happening inside, this value will go down. Very similar to the heartbeat of the people. If there is something wrong in our body, the heartbeat of the people will be affected. So actually we are measuring, let's say in phrases, the heartbeat of the plants.
I even seen that you have some comparisons with regarding to the ECG signals as well as the signals what is coming from the plants. Yes,
because we are now, if we say that this is the heart of the plants, that means yes, you can do the electrical, cardiography of the plants, and we have a very similar signals, similar to the heartbeat of the people.
Is more biophysics involved in this particular phenomena? That is why biologists are a bit reluctant to adopt this technology?
Yes, it's a mixture of different type of knowledge actually. It's basics of biology, plant physiology, photobiology, biophysics, and statistics, this, when we apply these artificial neural networks, that means you have to know something about the computerizations and the statistical methods as well.
So it is a mixture of many advanced aspects. So one should have a thorough knowledge on these things, then only can do real analysis of this data.
Absolutely, and this way actually was achieved only in the last years, when all these fields, start to be developed, and then the people realized if you would like to get a new advancement and to knowledge, that means you have to cooperate with others. Then you can put many techniques, most advanced techniques together in one field, then you can get this, let's say, new tool, which could be, used everywhere.
And how far this is being adopted in the whole world? Is people are more turning towards this sort of technology?
Well, unfortunately, the people, they are not aware of that yet. They are not aware even that in the internet, on our mobile phones, you can download for free many applications now which allow you to measure the chlorophyll content in the plants free of charge, or to measure the area of the plants, the leaves. Because if you have bigger leaves, that means you will have higher production because you have more photosynthesis. Yeah, many. There is some applications done by different companies to identify the plants by themselves. How they did it? The system is empty, as we said. The artificial neural networks is a black box, stupid at the beginning. It doesn't mean anything. Then you provide, identify these plants by this shape and call it this and this. Then once they finish from the region, for example, for India, then you can make identification of the plants kingdom in the whole country. Now, any one of us, if you are interested in the plant kingdom or to learn what is the name of these plants, many times we are with the children somewhere in the forest or in the mountains, in the gardens, and my son will ask me, he believes that I know everything because I'm plant physiologist. What is the name of these plants? So the best answer will be that you take this application, you make a photo, and then the name of the plants will appear. That was, a very difficult in the past. Now we are using this advanced technology everywhere to learn more and to make our lives, let's say, easier.
What is your advice as a plant physiologist or as a photobiologist to the younger generation who wishes to take up this particular area of research for their career?
Well, as I said before, it's important to change our thinking about the plants. The plants, as I believe, they are more advanced than the people and the animals. Maybe this declaration will be something new for many peoples and scientists, because we believe that we have the brain, we have the nervous systems, and we are the best on earth. Then after us, the animals, okay, where they have more, let's say, senescence of the things which are going on. But they don't know what the plants can do. The plants, for me, they are the best. They are the most advanced living organisms on earth. Why? Because only the plants, if the environments will be harsh or something wrong in the surrounder, they cannot go out and they cannot run to hide. If we feel hot, we run the AC. If we feel rain, we put the umbrella. And we can manage, adapt ourselves. We can move, we can think, we can do something to solve these environments. The animals do the same. If they feel so hot, they go to the cave, to go under the tree. They can adapt. The plants have to stay. What that mean? To survive, that means they have to have the most complicated and advanced mechanisms and strategies, we call them, for survival.
Yeah.
And this is the artificial intelligence which we are trying now to discover in the plant kingdom.
Okay, so the younger generation should more focus on this sort of studies that will benefit for the whole humankind.
I believe so. I believe so. It's something new. We believe that we know a lot of the plants. We don't know nothing yet. And as I said, we have to change our theories and our, theoretical books saying that you apply this and this level of fertilization for the plant. If you are growing tomato in the greenhouse, you put them 500 micromole photons per meter square per second at a certain light levels. But I'm asking the people, did you ask the plants how much they need? No. So you are applying something in advance to allow maximum productivity, but we don't know the real needs, the real needs for these plants.
Yeah.
What we found during our research are very interesting things, that even these needs of light, let's say, or carbon dioxide, temperature, whatever, even for those plants outside in the field, it's changed during the season. It changed during the whole day. So every day, from the morning to the evening, we are lightening our plants, for example, with a certain light intensity and giving a certain fixed conditions. They don't. Try to do it with the people. Try to give somebody breakfast the whole day. The breakfast something else, the lunch something else, and sometimes you wake up in the morning and you don't want to take the breakfast. Plants are doing the same. But we have to give this, opportunity for them to talk. Then we hear their talk.
And respond accordingly.
Absolutely. And this is a task for the younger generation.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, that is a very good message.
It is.
Now, coming to our developing countries like India, China and all, and where you have a big population, you have to feed millions of people. And I think photosynthesis research has got a greater significance, because ultimately this photosynthesis is going to convert into productivity, which will feed the millions.
Right.
So obviously the photosynthesis research has got a greater significance. And in photosynthesis, which is the area which you feel that should be paid more attention?
Well, I will go after the water use efficiency. Water use efficiency is the parameters which is telling about if our plants, they are, again in strange phrases, economic or not. What that mean? The plants is economic. We know that the people, the children can be economic. If you give 10 rupees for one child to the other one will spend it in 1 hour, the other one will spend it in 1 week. Then we realize that this first child is more economic than the other one. He know how to spend this money. Plants are doing the same with the available water in the environment. So there is some genotypes, some plants, some cultivars, whatever, or varieties, which they can assimilate more carbon dioxide by the use of the same units of the water during transpirations process. When they open this tomato, okay, to take carbon dioxide, they lose the water. So the economic plants is the plants which is coded, or it knows how to efficiently use this water while getting this carbon dioxide to make the carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And we are looking for that. It's one of the most, I think, parameters now which should be addressed in the plant breeding programs and by the scientists and by technologists as well, to look for this feature, because we more day and day we not have only a higher number of populations, but we have also a lower availability and content of the water available for our agricultures. So we have to look for that.
So water use efficiency linked to photosynthesis.
Yes.
The best the manipulation of photosynthesis with the minimum utilization of water.
Absolutely, because if you would like to have these calculations, the water use efficiency as a parameters is the photosynthesis intensity divided by the transpiration. So that means how many units the plants can lose from the water by assimilating 1 unit of carbon dioxide.
That I feel that is going to be a greater significant issue, because nowadays even human beings are we are having dearth of water. So obviously we are not able to provide enough water to the plants. So in the coming generation or in the future, it would be that way, that the plants which utilize the minimum water is going to be getting more important.
That's true. That's true, because we are then targeting 2 things: the problem with the water and the problem with the population increments on the same time.
So, Dr. Hazem, thank you for being with us for the interface and for sharing your knowledge, and thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you.